Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Ask Snes. So yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's been just over a year since the last one. But here we are, back with an episode. So I want to first of all say thank you to everyone who asked me a question. I've had a few questions by the look of it. So I'm going to work my way through them in a minute. Just so we know the format, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. Probably won't answer all of them because there are a lot of questions. And I want to avoid any questions that are just not worth answering. Basically questions that are a bit silly. Also, if it's too personal, I'll obviously probably not answer it. But other than that, all good. So let's get on with it. So Ask Snes is a go. So as always, if you do have a question for the next video as well, leave it in the comments down below. But for this video, let's see what we've got. So first up, we've got Street Waffle. Not heard from him for a while, so hello mate. Right, so are you looking forward to Christmas already, and why do you think time goes faster as we get older? To be honest mate, I haven't even thought about Christmas. Yeah, I know it's November, nearly, well, a couple of days, yeah, it's the end of October now. No, I'm not even really thinking about Christmas at the moment, but I will be shortly. Yeah, I think it's just that we've seen it all before, that's why. Time just flies by because it's nothing new. Your pickup videos, Super Nintendo titles are awesome, but are there any modern games you're enjoying at the moment? Not at the moment. I'm not actually. Well, in fact, I'm playing one game, and that's Knack 2 on the PS4, which is alright. It's good. I'm not enjoying it as much as the first game, but it's still decent. It's pretty much more of the same, so yeah, it's good. Call of Duty is coming out next week. Looking forward to that. I've been waiting for that. What are 5 things you'd like to accomplish between now and in 5 years' time? To be honest with you, I've got no idea at the moment, so I really can't answer that one. Is there a way we can contribute to your channel? For example, email you a gift card. I appreciate it, mate, but I'm not comfortable with all that sort of stuff, so I don't get involved in all that Patreon and gifting and stuff. But I appreciate the offer anyway. So next question comes from my friend Jenny, Johnny Depp fan. What are your top 3 Desert Island games? Street Fighter 2 Turbo, definitely. Uncharted 2. Trying to think it's something you're going to last you and make, you have something that's going to last a while to play, because otherwise you get bored. And probably Medal of Honor Warfighter, actually, because I've played the hell out of that. I'm always playing that game, so yeah, I'd go with those 3. What we got next? Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look at these ones. Right, so Mark S. Yorks, thank you for the question, mate, asks, what albums are you currently listening to? At the moment, I've got 2 albums on the go. One is Liam Gallagher's As You Were, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm really enjoying that album a lot. I wasn't in my teenage years when the Britpop thing was massive. I wasn't into that. I was into hip-hop and R&B, into the West Coast rap. And so were all my mates, but one of my mates decided to leave that behind, and he really got into the indie scene. He was massive into the Britpop scene, and so I did hear like the odd band like Cast and Cooler Shaker and Oasis, of course, and Blur and all of those bands. But I was never really into the scene myself. But I've always liked Oasis music. I've got What's the Story, Morning Glory, which is pretty much standard for anyone who's not a big Oasis fan. Yeah, and I just wanted to try his album out because I heard the first couple of songs that were released and they were fantastic, and the album is incredible actually. I really like it a lot. I've been listening to it lots and lots since I got it, and like, every song's great. Chinatown is absolutely my favourite song. It's just so chilled. I love that track. The other album I've been listening to is Dua Lipa. I don't know what the album's called actually. I should have checked that before I come on, but yeah, really like her. The was it New Rules? The one song she put out that was really catchy and really got to me. It's always on the radio, so in the end I just went and got the album because I listened to a couple of tracks on YouTube and thought, yeah, it sounds really good. And yeah, it's a really good album. And I've got another album coming today which I'm waiting for, which is Carly Pearce, which is a country artist. So yeah, that should be interesting. It's her first album, and the first song she put out was excellent. So, best and worst film you've seen this year? I haven't seen as well. I say that actually. Yeah, I haven't seen as many films as I did last year. I've still seen quite a few. With the moving house and everything, made it a bit difficult to see films. God, I was trying to think what films I've actually seen this year. What's the best film I've seen? I can't even remember most of the films that I've watched. Worst film would be hard, I don't know. What bloody films have come out this year? I've watched loads of films. I can't think of any. I'm blanking. So I think I seen was it January we saw Live by Night? I think it was. I absolutely love that film. It's brilliant. I've got that on Blu-ray and all. Oh, Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman come out this year. Then yeah, that's the best film I've seen this year so far. Soon to be topped by Justice League, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Worst film of the year. Honestly, mate, I couldn't tell you off the top of me because I can't remember what films I've seen. I know I've got a list somewhere. I'll have to check that. Right, Lloyd, tweet the shred, top man. Hello, Lloyd. This might be a loaded question. Good way to start, mate. But when you're away from YouTube for extended when you are away from YouTube for extended periods of time, are you happier? Yes and no. I was for quite a while. Yes, it was great. It was nice to have the freedom to just do what I want and not have to think about doing this. And it's not just YouTube, obviously, because I've got a lot of stuff going on. So being extremely busy, like with the move and everything, really helped to just distract me from the world, really. And I have done other things as well. I've stopped watching the news. I don't really watch the political programs as much now. Now and again, I might watch a little bit of Question Time, but it just pisses me off, so I just stop watching it. But yeah, I mean, as an example, beforehand, I was watching Question Time, Daily Politics, the Sunday Politics. Andrew Myth, I was up on a Sunday morning. I was really into the politics and the news and everything. But quite frankly, the world's gone to shit and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. And it never does change. It's always like this. So what's the point? I don't care anymore. The world's gone crazy, so just take no notice of it. Yeah, as far as YouTube's concerned, well, I'm glad I come back actually because it's really made a difference. I've really enjoyed getting back into it. I just lost a lot of interest, and especially when I quit collecting as well, didn't help. As I said in my first video back, I felt like I was an outsider and I just felt like I got nothing to offer. So it was nice to come back and to have all that great feedback from people to say, yeah, you know what, Pete, I like what you're doing. I've always liked what you're doing and I want to see more. So yeah, I wouldn't say I was completely 100% happy and I'm glad I left YouTube and I never wanted to come back. There were certainly days like that, but in the long term, no. I'd rather be doing this, and it's a good hobby, a good bunch of people, and it does make me happy as well. But yeah, not having to deal with the world, not have to deal with YouTube and social media and everything, it does make you happier because you're calmer, you don't get stressed. But I hope that's kind of answered it. Right, okay, LFC Gamer. Right, okay, let me see what he's asking. Oh Christ. Top 10, favourite songs from the 1990s. 10. Well, it's impossible to put them in any order, so I'll just pick songs that I love from the 90s. So, we've got Dre Day, Gin and Juice. We've got Dear Mama. Bollocks, my brain's just gone. What's it called? Jesus Christ. The Biggie Smalls track. Juicy. Just totally couldn't think of what it was called then. That's 4. What else was there from the 90s that I really liked? There's so many. Nothing like the Rain, 2 Unlimited. That's 5. So we need 5 more. Look at my CDs, give me some kind of idea. It's really hard to do these kind of videos, these kind of questions. Of course, Britney Spears, Baby One More Time, classic. Kid Rock, Bar with a Bar, there's another one. Eminem, My Name Is, of course, you're going to have that. And we need, 2 more? Whew. Oh yeah, Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. I mean, that's just a brilliant track and it's a classic. And one more. Aqua, Barbie Girl, that'll do. What are your positives and negatives about the YouTube gaming community? Negatives is hard, mate, because I really can't think of any, to be honest. It depends what you mean. If you're talking our community, the retro community, there ain't really any negatives. Everybody's really nice. You know, you get trolls and dickheads, but the actual people who care and who are into retro gaming are really sane people. I've always found. Anyway, I've never found anyone to be an arsehole yet. In the gaming community in general, well, if you talk about modern gaming, well, where do you even start? I mean, for me, I don't watch modern videos. Because at the moment, like the new Xbox is coming out, and I'm looking at things for the Switch and all that. And I like to look and keep an eye on what's going on. So I do watch the occasional video, but God, man, YouTube, it does my nutting. The thing that irritates me the most is that the majority of them, this is no disrespect, it's not like an old man having a go at young kids or anything, and it's just the way that it is, but the way the videos are made, they've all got the same voice, the same monotone voice, the same introduction, the same editing style, the same let's play some gameplay and talk over it. It's always what's up, what's good, what's happening. It's like, for fuck's sake, do something different, be an individual and be yourself. It drives me insane when I'm watching those videos. I find them really difficult to watch. And most of them are clickbaity bullshit as well, which really annoys me because I want to get some actual information. All I get is clickbait titles. And you watch the video and there's a guy that I've found recently, and I'm not going to name him because it's not fair to do that. But his videos are 100% clickbait titles. You watch the videos and half the time it's not even close to what his title of the video is. So yeah, although I did find a guy recently, a British guy called Foxy Games. He's quite decent. I quite like his style. He's more laid back. It's not as annoying as a lot of the videos can be. But yeah, positives as I say, with our retro community, everyone's sound, everyone gets along, and everyone's positive and friendly. I mean, you always, you're going to get pushback because you put yourself on camera and you tell people stuff. I mean, look at the stuff I've done over the years. Bought and sold and all that, like a lot of people have, and you get shit thrown at you, but I don't really care either. That's the other thing, Some of these people who leave comments think I give a toss. Don't give a shit. It makes no difference to me what you think. I'll take constructive criticism and I'll have a conversation about it. And if it's, most of you are saying so, you'll say like, are you sure you want to do that? Or, how about this as an option? And, you'll be sensible and mature about it. You just get the odd knobhead who just basically feels they've got a right to just insult you. Or to say that if you make a decision today, you must live by that decision for the rest of your life, and you will not change your mind, because if you change your mind, you're an absolute bastard. I don't understand that mentality. That's weird. But yeah, that's it really. Right. What kinds of snacks and drinks do you prepare when having a movie marathon? I don't, if I'm honest, because I don't like to leave the seat when I'm watching the film, because I have a cup of tea, but that's about it. I don't like to overdo it, because I can't stand when I'm really into a movie, like stopping, pausing and going for a pee. It drives me crazy. I'll sit there and I'll be like, I've really got to go to the loo, but I don't want to because I want to watch this film. And sometimes I just have to go, you've got no choice, but I do my best not to. And if I go to the cinema, I used to have popcorn and all that, I just don't bother now. It's not very nice and it's expensive as well. And, it's not even the cost, it's just the fact that it tastes like shit. There's just no taste to it. So why pay all that money for flavourless popcorn when you can buy some butter kiss for £1? But I usually just take a Coke in, even that's crap, and it's just watered down sugar, water, rubbish, but it does the job, just keeps you hydrated. And I just gently sip it a little bit at a time so that I can get all the way through the 2 hours or 2.5 hours and not have to leave the cinema. Because I can't stand people when you're in the cinema and you're watching a film and they will get up like 10 minutes into the film or an hour into the film. I'm like, you're missing the bloody story. I don't understand how you can leave, come back like 5 minutes later and have a clue what's happening. Beyond me. I was like, just pee before you go in there and just sip your drink and you'll be fine. Right, what we got next? Right, Benoit is asking, do you buy complete in-box games to play, or do you buy games for collecting purposes only to play? Before it used to be more collecting but I still gamed. I've always been a gamer no matter what. So it's always been both collecting and gaming. It's never one or the other. But in the past, it was definitely 100%, a lot more about the collecting, and I was a lot more anal about condition and all that. These days, no, I want them in decent nick, just not battered. And I really enjoy the collecting. Who doesn't? It's great fun to try and hunt these games down, and to find a bargain is even better. When you get a good deal, it feels great. When they come through the door, it feels great. Unboxing them feels great. Talking to you guys about them is great, and it's nice to show them off and to get feedback and to hear people's thoughts and opinions and memories. All of that is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, it's a real 50-50 balance for me at the moment of gaming and collecting, and the gaming is definitely starting to edge the collecting more. Right, the great Murray. How you doing, Murray? Let's see what he's got for me. So Muzz247365. Did you miss doing YouTube videos when you took your recent break, or did you actually end up enjoying not having to do it? As I went into this a little bit earlier, but yes, I did miss it for a bit. Then there was a good chunk of period of time where I just didn't even think about it. I was just happy watching people making videos and watching their channels and not having to do that for myself, because as I say, I was doing the move and everything. I hadn't got the time, the patience, or the inclination to actually make a video. I got too much going on in my life, and it was nice to have a break and to get away from it all. And the good thing was I still had Twitter as well. It's the only social media I use besides YouTube. So it was nice to have all you guys, including Mobby, become a good friend of mine, and to be able to just chat shit on there. I love that. Twitter's a great way to interact. Right, okay, Retro Chef Lee. Hello, Lee. What TV program or movie would you like to see made into a game? Arrow. I'm a big fan of Arrow. It's a good action game, so I think you could do a good third-person action game with that one. Right. Oh, what console would it be on? I assume that means, and why would you choose it? I'd just make it multi-plat, to be honest, mate. Put it on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. You could do that quite easily, and even though Switch is a little underpowered, they can do Doom. So if they can do Doom, they could easily do an Arrow game, or Green Arrow, should I say. That'd be a fantastic title. Stephen Lewis asks, what is your favourite superhero movie? Tough one. I've watched all the Marvel films. I've watched all the DC films, and DC films are my favourites out of the two. But I don't side either way because they're both great companies with great films. And of course I watched like the Fox movies and the Sony movies as well. So if anyone doesn't know, like Fox's X-Men, you've got Spider-Man at Sony. I'd say favourite so far is quite easy for me. It's Batman v Superman. It's the one film I've watched more than any of the others. I've watched it 5 times so far. Once at the cinema theatrically and 5 times on the Ultimate Cut, which is just incredible. If you've never seen Batman v Superman and you want to watch it, watch the Ultimate Cut. It's on for 3 hours, which seems a lot, but trust me, it goes quick. Don't watch the theatrical release because it'll just confuse the shit out of you. You need to watch the full uncut version. It's just incredible. I love that film. So yeah, definitely without a doubt, Batman v Superman. Second one would be Ant-Man. Ant-Man's quality film. Big King Bacon asks, favourite movie that you know deep down is shit, but you still love it, and the technique for the perfect brew. My technique is pretty basic, mate. Put tea bag in, Yorkshire tea, fill it up, give it a bit of a stir, not too much because Yorkshire tea is quite strong. Whip it out, put the milk in, but don't just chuck the milk in then stir it. As you add in the milk, stir it as you add in the milk so it blends it nicely. It's delicious. And same with coffee as well, by the way. As you put in the water to the coffee, blend it. Don't just fill it up and then stir it. And what was the other one? Film that I know is shit deep down, but I love it. I find that hard to do though because it's like a guilty pleasure thing. I don't really find that. I find that I either like a film or I don't. I suppose like there's a film at the moment that I really want to see called Geostorm, which apparently is terrible and it looks ridiculous. But I kind of like those films, and I enjoy watching that, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them. So even though I've not seen it, I'll probably say that one at the moment because I can't think of any off the top of my head. What have I got over there? Yeah, I see these questions are really tough. It's hard to just without any preparation. Okay. Stephen Powell asks, how you doing? I'm doing well, mate, thanks. Better than I was, getting there. The time away was definitely helpful, so yes, I'm doing quite well. Let's have a look. What's this one? Right, okay. Right, so Burnout Culture has got a couple of questions, so thank you for the questions, mate. First question. Right, retro game collecting per se sometimes really stresses me out, mainly due to the ever-increasing costs. Do you have any tips on overcoming this? Don't keep spending your money. I've burnt through a few games recently because I wanted to get the main ones out of the way, but yeah, realistically, just play the waiting game because the costs are getting silly. and you've really got to just be patient. And it's really hard because sometimes a game will pop up and it might be 20 quid more than what you're willing to pay, but you think, oh, sod it, it's worth it. You either do that or you just think, no, I'm going to wait, because eventually somebody will list one for a good price and decent nick. So just don't rush. That's the main thing there. If you get a chance, check out my channel. Okay, will do. Right, thank you very much, mate. Okay, Old School Variety Face, which is like the most random name ever, but okay. Are there any good bands or artists out now? If so, who and why are they good? Depends what kind of music you're into, really. I mean, metal and stuff, I haven't got a clue. I'm completely out of the scene, so I don't know what's good and what's bad, or even what's out there now. Yeah, honestly, I can't really think of it. I mean, most of the pop stuff's crap. It bores the shit out of me, so... you know, like the bands, like all this like hipster crap, I just don't. They all sound the same and they just bore me to tears. Do you see yourself going to a retro gaming event anytime soon? And if so, which one would you go to? I've always said I want to, and I've never managed to do it. So I would like to. I just can't commit to anything. I mean, I'm in the southwest, and all of us down here and in London, and you know, down the bottom end, we're a bit stuck out because most of them seem to be like Wolverhampton, Manchester, Blackpool. So I mean, I ain't bothered. I'll go to any of them really. Just, you know, whichever one everybody else is going to, so I can meet up. What do you make of gender neutral or gender fluid? To be honest, mate, I don't really understand all that. I've heard it, and it goes. Most of it sounds like bollocks to me, but it is what it is. This is the world we live in now. Everything's got to have a label. Everyone's got to have an acronym, and you know, everybody's got to be accounted for and happy, and you can't say anything without somebody jumping on you. So I just take no notice. I think they're all bloody mental. David Lester, is it Tome? I assume it is. What's he asking? Right, okay, so he's asking basically, you stepped away because, by your own admission, it wasn't making you happy and was a significant source of unhappiness. What is different now? Is it just one last hit? No, basically, a year ago when I stepped away, it was because it was affecting me emotionally and financially. It isn't anymore. I'm in a better position now, a more comfortable place. It was the best thing I did was to, you know, to admit I had a problem and to deal with it. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's not always that easy to do so, but yeah, I just, you know, I was in a bad place and I found a solution, and that solution was to sell everything and to just calm my mind a bit. And I'm in a much better place now. I'm not going to go into details and stuff. Obviously, it's private and personal as to what's gone on and to how I've changed. But yeah. Just trust me, I'm in a better place, and that's what I wouldn't do this if I wasn't. I would never come back to it. I was at the point of quite happily never coming back to collecting again. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have made YouTube videos. I just had to find something to do. But I mean, I was definitely done with the collecting. I only came back because I chose to, and because I felt that it was something I wanted to get back into, and I was able to. Okay. Right, Gilotex asks, when you play Super Nintendo games, what do you prefer, old CRT or modern LED LCD? CRT all the way, mate. Got one over there. Gotta be. Okay, let's have a look. Nat Kennedy Breeze asks, do you think that indie games are often creative for the sake of being creative? I mean, a game about running a farm, what's all that about? Yeah, it goes over my head, mate, to be honest. I mean, I appreciate some of the pixel art ones, like that game that's coming out on Xbox that looks like Flashback. That looks really cool. When it's like the run and guns and things and the shooters, they're great, and the platformers. But yeah, sometimes, I've said it before, I find a lot of the indie stuff is, you know, self-indulgent, up your own arse kind of stuff, and it just doesn't, it does nothing for me. I don't listen to all the bullshit the developers come out with, and I'm not a digital gamer. I never will be. I don't even think about looking to see what's available. So at the end of the day, just play the games that make you happy. Supernatural is as popular as ever. How can that be? Agreed. I got to season, was it 10 or 11? I think it was 11. I can't remember if I started 10 or 11. I started 10 or 11 anyway. I only got about 5 episodes in, and I was just like, they've ruined this show, and I walked away because it's gone right downhill. I just don't understand what they're doing. It's simple, really. The Angels and Demons storyline just got milked too much, and Cass and Crowley were stuck around for too long. They should have dumped those two characters, killed them off or something, or just made Cass leave the body and the body goes back to his old life, because those two characters ruined the show. For me, Supernatural was definitely at its best in the early days when it was about the brothers hunting things, Monster of the Week. That is when I loved Supernatural. You'll know if it's season 10 or 11. The last good episode I saw was when the Imaginary Friends episode. That was really good. But then they did an episode in a wrestling ring and it was shite. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. It was like really terrible comedy. So, yeah, it's a shame I had to stop watching it, because I got to a point I was forcing myself to watch Supernatural. And I said to myself, you're literally sitting here forcing yourself to get through it because you're a big fan of the show. Just stop it. So I stopped watching it. Console gaming is becoming like PC gaming. Does that upset you a little? No, because you don't have to upgrade yet. So until we get to the days where it is a PC and you have to upgrade parts instead of buying a new version of the console. I mean, the whole going towards the iPhone model of upgrading every year and stuff, if they did that, they can kiss my arse, mate, because there's no way. I mean, I couldn't do it financially, and even if I could financially, I wouldn't, because it's just ridiculous. I love my new tech, but come on. Be serious. That's not how gaming consoles work. Do you ever wish you were good at sport? No, I don't give a toss about sport. Maybe tennis, but yeah, I don't really give a shit about sport. Have you ever considered ending your Apple product boycott? No, I haven't actually. I did think about it, but my dad had an iPhone for a while. He didn't like the iPhone, couldn't get on with it, and I got to be honest, I thought it was pretty crap myself. It didn't have a back button for one thing. I mean, what's that about? That's just weird. I was really not overly impressed with it compared to Android. I didn't think it was as amazing as everyone makes it out to be. The iPad is a different thing. I mean, my dad's got an iPad, and the iPad's fantastic. And, you know, you can definitely tell the difference. There's no lag. You don't get any problems like you do with Windows products, because Microsoft is, you know, their Windows is bloody awful. It's just a real shame that they've got this ridiculous attitude of having to overprice everything to make it a premium product. It's just silly. If they just got sensible, they could dominate Microsoft easily. But yeah, as a company, I don't like the way they run things at all. All right, what we got next? As the screen just zips back to the top, because why not? God bless the internet. Right, Mark. Let's have a look. Sega sent me one. So, out of all the crossovers throughout film, TV, and video games, what two universes would you like to see mix that haven't been done? Jesus, mate, make it nice and easy for me. Ooh. They're on about crossing Mask with G.I. Joe, aren't they? Because Hasbro's doing a load of films. I don't know if I want that. I just want a Mask film. I know they are making a Mask film, but I know they've been trying for years to try and unify Mask and G.I. Joe and all the other Hasbro products into one universe. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's necessary to keep having all these universes all the time. I personally don't mind them. I love Marvel, I love DC, it's great. But it is nice to have standalone stories as well. So, yeah. But if I was going to cross them over, off the top of my head, I haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. If you could be part of any development team in gaming, what role or job title would you like to take the lead in? Story development, if there is such a role. I'd love to, I love writing. And it'd have to be Naughty Dog, because they're the best company out there. Without the influence of Konami, Capcom and Squaresoft, do you think the 16-bit era would have been as successful as it was? Oh god, yeah. I mean, you had Nintendo as well, didn't you? You know what I mean? Yeah, to be fair, there was so many games by other developers and publishers that, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, those three really did make a massive impact. Of course they did. But if you look at the library of games, I mean, there's absolutely tons of choice. So, yeah, I definitely think it would have been as successful, because there was more variety back then. They just tried anything and saw what stuck, and it worked. And they developed loads of new genres. It was great. Right, okay, next up. Mike McCarthy. How you doing, Mike? Mike asks, are there any other systems in the not so distant future that you see yourself starting a collection for? Not at the moment. There were a couple that cropped up and crossed my mind. I did pick up a PlayStation not long ago, really cheaply on eBay. To be fair though, I don't really see that as a collecting thing. if I can be asked, I'll buy some games for it. I've got some games that came with it, so I'm happy with that. The PS1 is just a must-have, really, isn't it? I didn't want to get into disc-based media, but what the hell. The Xbox is always something there, but I'm not going to get into that generation. The PS2 as well. I've done that too many times. So, no, realistically, I think where I am now is where I want to be. I'm happy. I've got the NES, SNES, N64, Mega Drive, PS1. I think that's enough. Okay, Kevin DeBont. I hope that's right. I just pronounced that correctly, Kevin. Are there any 8 or 16-bit sports games which you're looking to add to your collection? No, not really. I'm not a big sports guy, to be honest. I'm just trying to think, are there any that are worth getting? Jimmy Connor's Tennis is pretty good on the SNES. I know a lot of people say Super Tennis is great, but I prefer Jimmy Connor's. I think it's a better game. The only sport, actually, yes, there is. It's not really a sports title, but it's a sort of a loose tie-in, would be Michael Jordan's Chaos in the Windy City, which I absolutely love that game. It's a platformer, really. But it has got Michael Jordan bouncing a basketball. It's a brilliant game. Adam Sandham Todd, how you doing, mate? Do you still enjoy a good banana and cheese sandwich? Yeah, the infamous video. I haven't had one probably since I made that video, to be quite honest with you. I stopped eating them a long time ago. But they are a great sandwich. Yeah, if you've never tried a banana and cheese, you're missing out. Right, guys, sorry about that. As always, shitty phone. Android only allows you to record for half an hour and then it shuts off. Pff, crap technology, eh? Modern technology is bollocks, you know. They tell you can do this, that and the other, and all the basic stuff they can't even get right. Simple things like Android only allows you to store apps on your bleeding internal storage. So I've got a 32 gig card, 8 gig internal storage. Can't use my SD card, so my phone's always full and it's constantly going, you're running out of storage, I can't update. Well, you know, if they didn't do stupid shit like that. Anyway, technology's crap. Right, right, so the last question I answered was Adam Sandham Todd. So next question, see, so we got Sniper asks, as someone from Birmingham, I'm curious why you left and what is your honest opinion on the city? So I left Birmingham in 2008, and the reason for that was my parents moved down to Weston-super-Mare in 2003. I stayed in Birmingham for work. By the time I got to 2008, 5 years later, all my friends, my close friends, they'd settled down in relationships, had kids, getting married, all that kind of good stuff when you get older. And the only friends I had then were people I worked with, and it was more about socialising, getting pissed. And I wasn't interested in it. I'd done all that in my 20s, and I wasn't interested in clubbing and drinking and, you know, and I just got to a point, I just didn't feel comfortable going out to those places anyway, because I hated going to clubs, especially on like Broad Street as well, like normal clubs, because I used to go to metal bars and clubs, rock bars. So when you get to like the normal people on Broad Street, I hated that. You go in there and you see people like in the mid-30s and that blokes leching on girls and stuff, and I'd be like, oh Jesus man, you look so pathetic. So I did not want to end up like that. So yeah, so anyway, the reason I left, I got to the point where I was like, I've got nothing left here for me. I've got my job and that's it. And quite frankly, you know, that's not enough to stay in Birmingham any longer. And it was also, the city was just it was just too much, the noise, the people. I wanted quite a life, and living down in the southwest is nice and quiet. And I wanted to be close to my folks, which was the most important reason, because obviously they're getting older, I'm getting older, and eventually when my parents need help, you know, I mean, they're a long way off that happening yet, but when the time comes that they do need help, I can always be there if they need me. So that was the main reason. As for the city itself, sound, you know, I grew up there, as I say, so it's hard to really have an opinion on it. I grew up in a pretty quiet part of Birmingham, never really had any problems. You know, I had good friends around me. We used to go into the city centre and drink and party and things, so, you know, we used to hang out in Solihull quite a lot. I used to work in Solihull, you say, so we used to go to bars and we used to go to Rosie's on the odd occasion, which was a terrible nightclub, but and we go into Shirley, have a few cocktails. So yeah, I've got really fond memories of living in Birmingham. It's a great place to live. Yeah. Right, next one. Let's have a look. Who we got? So we got Joe Fordham. Joe asks, was there a specific YouTuber or moment that edged you on to making your own YouTube content, and if so, why? Who? Sorry. Honestly, mate, I've said it in the past. It was my dad that did it more than anything at the time. I didn't really know anything about YouTube. I didn't know there was such a thing as communities. I thought YouTube was just a place you go to get videos to help you, like for DIY and things. didn't really understand what it was all about. And it was 2009, and we had a friend at the time, a family friend, who was making mashup videos, music mashups, and he was doing quite well. He's becoming quite successful with that. And my dad was like, well, you're into all this collecting and stuff, why don't you just make a video and see what you think? So I started having a look on YouTube, finding retro collectors at the time, people like Drexus80, Daz, who still watches me now, great guy, and a few others. It would probably have been like Marcus, and who else was around at that time? It was really early days. I mean, I've totally forgotten. Sorry, Marcus, if you're watching, I've forgotten your bloody screen name was. I've had a blank. It'll come to me in a minute. X-File, that's it. X-File 2708, of course. How could I forget that? All the classic YouTubers. And yeah, I used to watch those guys, and I had a different channel name at that time. I was just using it to comment on videos and interact. And then the one day I just thought, screw it, because I had absolutely no confidence whatsoever. I was growing up, I wouldn't even have my photo taken. I did not like cameras at all. I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but I had zero confidence, and so consequently, I never thought I'd be doing something like this. It's mad. But I just thought, what the hell, one day. I just got a camera. You can watch my first video, it's on the channel, it's terrible. But I got my crap phone at the time, not even a smartphone, just some crappy phone, just filmed without being on camera and just talked and showed the couple of games that I had. I didn't have a lot at that point. And then it just went from there, basically. I started making more videos. I don't know if it was my second or third video. I think it might be my third video. I actually went on camera and I was absolutely shitting myself, and you can see it in the video. I'm absolutely all over the place. I've watched it back and it's a bit awkward. And it took me a long time to be confident to be able to just sit here and chat with you guys as if you're here in the room. But yeah, it was definitely a good thing to do as well, because YouTube helps massively with your confidence. If you've got confidence issues, then I would 100% give it a try. It's terrifying when you start, but eventually you just get used to it and you just think, it's no big deal. Especially when you get all the great feedback from people and you make nice friends, good friends. If the Super Nintendo was vanished off the face of the earth, what would be the name of your channel? I don't know, to be honest. That's a really good point. It took me forever to come up with this one, to be honest, mate. It's so bloody hard to come up with screen names. I honestly have no idea. I'd have to really think about that, because it depends. It'd have to be something Super Nintendo related, but obviously it's not, because Super Nintendo doesn't exist. So what the hell do I do then? I mean, what would my videos be about? I'll probably be collecting Mega Drive instead, wouldn't I? So maybe like Sega-tastic or something crap like that, I don't know. Alright, what we got next? Lee Metters, after the phenomenal gaming media response to Super Mario Odyssey, are you going to get a Switch? Lee, you wouldn't believe how much it's pissing me off at the moment. All over Twitter, everyone I follow, and everybody's retweeting and everything. Bloody Mario Odyssey everywhere. That's all I'm saying. I've got Alex Blue-Tonic78 constantly saying, Pete, you need to buy a Switch. Pete, you need to buy a Switch. And he's not a massive Mario fan, but he absolutely loves this game. He thinks it's incredible. Yeah, I really, really want to play Mario Odyssey. I just can't afford a Switch. It's as simple as that. But eventually, hopefully next year, I will be able to get one. I'm really excited to get one. Also, the thing with the Switch at the moment, I look at the games available, and for me personally, because I only buy retail releases, there's Street Fighter 2, Ultra Street Fighter 2, there's Mario Kart 8, which I'm not that bothered about. It'd just be a purchase to have something to play. So I probably won't get that. Splatoon 2 looks interesting. But realistically, the only games that really I want are Ultra Street Fighter 2 and Mario Odyssey, which is not a lot really when you look at a £280 console. But I will buy one eventually, because I just love the console. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Everybody that gets one always says it's brilliant. So I think the Nintendo have really got it right this time. Right, we have a couple of questions from a good friend, Rob, old Champion 2D. How you doing, Rob? Right, okay, thoughts on the SNES Mini, and would you ever consider getting one? It's an official Nintendo product. That still doesn't sway me, Rob, but no, I won't be getting one. I think they're great for people who like them. Whether you want it because you don't collect and you just want to play old retro games, or you do collect and you want one for the front room, or you just think it's a really cool thing to have, and not, cool, that's great. The only reason I wanted one was for Star Fox 2, but, I'm not going to pay all that cash out for just Star Fox 2 complete, when it's pretty obvious that people were going to do repros, and I think they've already started doing repros. So when there's somebody doing a really good quality reproduction with a nice box and manual, and the price isn't stupid, then I'll just buy that. Because I'm not really that asked about, it just seems pointless to me, personally. And this is just me in my situation. I've got a CRT, I've got a Snes, I've got some of the games that I want that are on that mini. You know, there's no point. It's just, you know, it's like 80 quid, isn't it? 80 quid that could buy me a Snes game. So, yeah, depends how you look at it, really. PlayStation, what happened there? My voice went funny. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 imports. Something you consider. Something I've considered for a long time, mate. The one thing that always tips me on imports is Time Crisis, because the Americans got these really cool big box Time Crisis, big box versions of Time Crisis. Sometimes, you know, you say something on the camera and your brain just melts and you say that it just makes no sense. Yeah, so they've got obviously Time Crisis Project Titan on the PS1. PS2's got Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, and Crisis Zone, and all these big fat boxes with guns, with the gun that comes with them. So you end up with a lot of G-Cons, but those have always been the ones I've wanted to collect. I just can't go back to that PS2 Xbox era. It's just too much. It'll consume me. I've got enough as it is. It'd be nice because there are games I like on both of those systems, especially the Xbox. But I mean, I will be honest. I said to Alex recently that Blue Tonic Alex, I said that era is probably when people go on about graphics and they can't go back to certain consoles. I've never had that, but with the Xbox and PS2, some of the games, not all of the games, there's some really great games, but some of them, like the third-person games, they look ropey as shit, and the controls, it's more the controls than it is the way they look, actually. Like Freedom Fighters is one of my favourite games from that generation. It's a fantastic title. If you've never played it, definitely should. It's on all three systems, PS2, GameCube, Xbox. Great game. But man, it plays like crap now. It's really bad. Now I'm so used to having dual analog, the right analog for the camera in a third-person game, not having that ability and just moving the character around jerkily. Oh, it's terrible. I would love that to get a remaster or a sequel. Not going to happen, but that would be excellent. If money was no object and you had no space, what three arcade cabs would you own? Nice and easy. Operation Wolf, Final Fight, Pit Fighter, and I'm going to have to make it 4. Time Crisis, the first one. I'd like Time Crisis 2, but it's massive, so where the hell would I put that? But those are the main ones. That was weird. I think that was a delivery. I think that's my Amazon order. My CD's just been delivered. Right, next up, my good friend Alex Blue Tonic 78. Alex, how you doing, mate? Right, let's see what he's asking me. Alex is always a bit iffy because he could ask me any old shit and something completely random that'll throw me. What do you think you've learned over the last year or so when it comes to buying, selling, collecting, and having a focus? Ooh, I'd say don't rush in, take my time. Bargains do come up, even if it doesn't feel like they're going to. Define exactly what you want, what consoles you want, what games you want. It's very easy, as we all know, to get influenced by other tubers when watching videos on YouTube. So don't go and just buy games that people expect you to own. Just buy games that you want to play, that you like, whether you just enjoy them because you played them in the last few years or they've got nostalgic value to, whatever it is. But yeah, basically be patient, don't rush, and really think about what you're doing. Do you want to collect, first of all? Is it something you actually want to do, or are you just being influenced by watching these videos that we all make? If you do want to do it, then what consoles mean the most? You don't just buy consoles for the sake of it, because we've all done it. We've all bought every console under the sun because we never had them as kids. We couldn't afford them. Our parents couldn't afford them, and we wanted to test them out and try them. And that's fine. That's great. And you get to learn what you really like that way. But eventually, you have to just hone your collection and just make it work for you. Some people are fine with that. They can have like 25 consoles. It don't affect them. They have like 500 games. I'm not one of those people. I learned that it consumes me. So you have to really find what works for yourself. Has your house move helped in your positivity and given you a fresh spring in your step? Yes, definitely. It's even more peaceful here than where I was living before, and that was bloody quiet. But this one's really, really quiet. It's lovely. Neighbours are great. The area is brilliant. It's just really chill. It's got, when you're buying a house or renting a place, when you first walk in, you just feel that vibe, and if it just connects with you, you know it's right, and it just feels calm, and that's what's important. So yeah, it's great. I've been really happy since I moved here. Do you see yourself getting back into the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, here we go again, anytime soon, or is that an era of gaming which you have no interest in these days? I'm going to be honest, I want to say no interest because, as I say, there's like Freedom Fighters, there's Smuggler's Run, Tekken Tag, Black, Brute Force even, I love that game. Halo, obviously. There's games that are absolutely incredible, and you can say that. And this is the problem. This is what I'm saying. Really, any generation, there are always going to be at least 20 games per console that you'd want to own. But you don't need to own all of these consoles and all these games. You really need to just bring it down to the absolute bare minimum. That way, you don't just spread your money out as well, because it's easy to just spread your money across consoles, and you're not really focusing the money where it needs to be focused. Like me, I want to focus on the PAL SNES, and then I want to get the Mega Drive up and running. So that's what I need to do. If I start buying for the N64 and the NES, I mean, I bought the odd game now and again, but not just constantly buying them. That's just taking money away from the SNES, isn't it? So you've just got to really work it out and be, realistic. Thanks, Alex. Okay. Justin Mosley asks, what are your thoughts on the Everdrive cartridges? Sound, if you're not a collector and you just want to play games, I think they're absolutely brilliant investment. Yeah, it's emulation, but you're still playing on real hardware, so it's alright. And it's also good as a collector because it gives you the opportunity to play games that are really expensive, like Pocky and Rocky 1 and 2, Space Mega Force or Super LSD, Super Turrican 2. You can try them out and see if you actually like them. If you like them, then you can think about buying them. And reproduction SNES boxes, I think they're Satan, mate. They're not reproductions, they're pirates. Plain and simple, they're fakes. I don't have a problem with it in terms of piracy. It's up to you what you want to do. But I think the problem I have more than anything is the fact that they're not, most of the time, they're not printed with anything on them that says this is a reproduction or a fake. So that, therefore, you've got to trust the people that are buying your boxes. Now, you can be the most honest seller in the world and say these boxes are 100% brand new reproductions. I've made them myself, and I'm just selling them to help people with loose carts. Totally fine. But people who buy them, you don't know who they are, and you can get people who are devious bastards, and there's a lot of them out there who will take a loose cartridge and a manual, buy an inlay, stick it in that box and pretend it's real and sell it for like 500 quid and have no morals and don't care if people find out it's fake afterwards, because that'll be long gone. That's the problem with it, really. I think at the end of the day, if you're a person who wants to buy reproduction boxes, buy them. It's up to you. Your money. Do what you want with them. I don't object to people making them and I don't object to people buying them. I just object to the fact that they're not labelled correctly. I don't really see the point myself personally of why you would want to buy them. I think if you're a loose cart collector, you're a loose cart collector. What's the point of buying those? Buy the plastic clamshells, are much better at protecting them. I think if you're a collector, and you want box games, then you buy box games. Yeah, they're expensive, of course they are, but there are ways to do that by saving up. It's entirely up to you. You got to do what makes you happy. I'm a box collector. I wouldn't want to buy reproductions. If a game like Super Turrican, for example, can be like 400 quid. Now I might think, well, I ain't paying that for a box copy, so I'll get a loose cart, cut the cost down. But I wouldn't buy a reproduction box. I'll just get one of them nice universal game cases with the cover in it. Much easier. But I just really object more than anything to the fact that they're not clearly labelled as fake. Right, okay. I've just lost my bloody way because this bleeding thing just shot the screen back up again. Where are we? Right. There's Rob, there's Annex. Right, okay. Right, Mike Jones asks, have you played Cuphead and what do you think? I haven't, mate. As I say, I'm not a massive digital gamer. I want to give it a try at some point, so I might try it. I know it's supposed to be really good, but balls hard. It looks fantastic as well. And that is actually the last question. Right, so we do have a couple of questions from Keith. So I'll just, no disrespect, Keith, but I've tried to avoid your questions so far because you just ask way too many questions and a lot of them just wind people up. So we'll just, I'll see if I can find any that I can actually answer for you. So let's have a look. Probably not, but you never know. Favourite pizza, pepperoni, or just anything we like, chicken, like tandoori chicken, anything with jalapenos, that's always good. Favourite game from your current collection? Tough one. Castlevania 4. It's got to be in it, it's brilliant. Do you see yourself selling any of your current crop of consoles? No, not at the moment. Yeah, never saying no completely because you don't know what happens in the future, but at the moment I'm quite content. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you're there? All the time, mate. It's called old age. Right, okay. A lot more that I can answer, I don't think, by the look of it. Right, now I think we'll leave it there. So anyway, guys, cross some random questions on there. Right, so that is another episode of Ask Snes. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've done my best to answer the questions. I've tried. If you do have any more questions, guys, and you want to ask me something for the next video, just leave it down in the comments below this one, and of course I will go through, answer as many questions as I can next time. Yeah, it's been great making that video. I've enjoyed that. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.